Alright guys, back at the off-grid tiny house. No, not really, I'm at my regular house. It's been super cold. People have been commenting and asking me, where's your next video, when's your next video? So, I'm not at the trailer, but here's another video. I picked up most of everything I need for completing my solar project. So all I need now are the batteries. So I wrote this out. It might be hard to understand, but I have 20 solar panels, okay? Each of them are 100 watts. They're all 12 volt, okay? So this is going to be one set, basically. So I'm going to have 4 solar panels hooked together, which is going to give me 400 watts. All the positives are going to run into a common bus bar, and I picked that up today. So basically, so we have 2 panels here. The connections that came with it allows me to hook 2 together and then run that line to one connection on the bus bar, which I will do. And then I'll do the other 2 panels, connect them together and run them to the same bus bar. So that fills 2 of the holes. That gives me 1 hole to mount and 3 expansion holes. Well, actually 2, because one of these holes, so we have 2 feeding in and 1 that is going to go to a switch, which I also picked up today. Nice heavy duty on-off switch with a locking mechanism. This is a it's a box and everything, so I don't have to worry about that. I just need to run some conduit, which I probably won't do because that's just plastic on plastic. It's not metal. This will handle 40 amps. 690 volts. So I'm going overkill on my switch, which is nice. Nice on-off. Pick 20 of these up because I want to have a nice isolated system. So I'm going to take that off, show you the inside. So this is a 3-phase switch. Now, we're nowhere close to having 3-phase. This is solar. So my incoming wire, which I'll show you here. So we have our common bus bar. I have the 2 feeders, and 1 wire is going to run. So I got 2 feeding wires going into here. 1 wire is going to run into the top of this switch here, through the hole. And then, from that switch, it's going to run to the charge controller. So out the bottom to the charge controller. Now all of this is positive. This is the positive side of the solar panels, because my solar panels are going to be in what they call parallel. So the voltage doesn't change from 12 volts, but the amps do go up. As you put 4 together, I can have almost a total of 30 amps coming out of there. So that's why I needed this heavy duty box and went up to 40 amps. Also, I wanted a nice isolating switch in case I have to ever work on the system. So the same for the negative side. There's positive and negative on each solar panel. That's DC power. That's how that works. So I'll have all my positives going into that bus bar, going into that switch, and then going into the charge controller. And actually, from the charge controller, I'm going to put another switch in down here below to isolate the battery from the system. So I have 2 places to isolate. I got the main feed to isolate coming in, and I have the batteries to isolate. So I can work on anything I need to. I can just shut it off here, shut it off here. There's no power coming in then, and there's no power going into the batteries, or vice versa, backfeeding either. So now so that's the positive side. The negative side, all the negatives from the 4 panels are going to run into another bus bar. And that's going to be a negative bus bar. And then one wire, so there'll be 2 wires feeding the bus bar. Because there's only 2 wires feeding it, because when you join 2 of these together, they have a special connector that comes with them. An M10 or whatever the hell they're called. And basically it combines the 2 positives and the 2 negatives, so you only need 1 wire running out from the panels. So I'm going to have 2 wires because I have 4 sets of panels. So we'll have 2 wires connecting to each bus bar, and then a feeder that goes to a switch, which I can keep on or off, and it has a built-in locking mechanism there, which is nice, so no one can tamper. And then from that switch, we run to the negative side of the charge controller. So I hope that is understandable for you guys. This is DIY solar going on here, pretty much. I had to get 20 of these guys. Manual motor controller. I'm not worried about what they do. It's basically a giant switch that can handle the amperage. You don't need to know anything more than that. So, sorry about the zoom there. 40 amps. So that's going to be able to handle everything my solar panels can throw at it. This grounding bar, or bus bar, will be able to handle anything that can be thrown at it. It's pretty solid, thick metal. So that's going to work fine. I got 10 of these because I have this. What you're looking at is one set of what my solar panels are going to be. There's going to be 5 complete things of this. So I'm going to have a total of 20 solar panels. They're all going to be wired like this into 2 bus bars, a positive and negative bus bar, 2 switches, a charge controller, 2 more switches, and then a battery. And then also from the battery, which I'll show later, you hook up your inverter, and then you plug in anything you want into your inverter to give you household power. So I'll have 5 sets of these. It's kind of a different way of doing it. Instead of having a giant battery bank, this way all I have to do, if I see my charge controller alerts me and tells me, oh, this battery's getting a little too low, you don't want to go under 70%. Really, I wouldn't go under 70%. That's cutting it too close. So what I do is I shut everything down, unhook my inverter, turn everything back on, and hook the inverter up to another set that's not this one. So basically this one has a couple days or more to recover the battery. The inverter has been moved and is being used on a separate basically a separate setup just like this, and it has a fresh battery to work with. And we'll keep all the batteries hopefully above 70% capacity so I can make these batteries last. And all I have to do is watch the charge controller, make sure the batteries are good. And anytime I feel it's getting too dicey, I shut everything down, disconnect the inverter, move it to another set of this, turn everything back on, let the solar panels get my battery back up to charge with no loads on it, and everything will be nice and dandy. So I picked up 10 of these guys, actually 6, because they didn't have, these are the bus bars. They didn't have, I cleaned them out, they had 6, so he's ordering me the rest, a total of 10. I have 20 switches, these big bad boys, and I needed 4 per set. So remember, this whole setup here is times 5, because I have 20 solar panels, And they're all going to be set up the same way here. So that's how that's going to work. Just to show you guys that in a video, I got most of my all my solar stuff's almost in. Once this order's filled, you can pick that up. I have all the switches. That's done. Then after that, all I need are my AGM batteries, 5 of them. So I haven't got billed on this yet, but I'm sure it's probably going to be up there pretty good. I'll let you guys know on that when I do my totals. I have a grand total. I won't release that yet until I get closer to everything being done. But this gives you guys a good idea of what's going on with my solar, hopefully. Any questions, let me know in the comments. If you haven't been seeing any action on YouTube, you can join the Facebook group. Yeah, the link's in the description below of most of my videos, all of my videos. You can join me there. Sometimes I just do little quick updates on the Facebook group when I'm not putting videos out. So that's a little update for you guys, and I'd like to say happy 100th video. We made it this far, so we're getting closer. I think we're going to be on budget here. I'm hoping, so basically the off-grid tiny house total, I want to be around 20 grand total for everything complete, so anybody can afford it. That's the price of basically a new car, or actually a little under nowadays. So I gave a little wiggle room, so if we go to 25,000, then so be it. But that shows you guys you'll be able to do it. It's not crazy. I'll be showing you how to wire all this stuff up. It's pretty simple, guys. It's not that hard. But for now, that's all I can do. We had a brutal winter so far. They're saying maybe halfway into March before we get a break here. It starts warming up. So hopefully I'll have some more videos coming shortly in March. I got to finish my kitchen countertop base. I got to finish the shower installation. I got to finish the laundry tub installation. Not insulation, installation. I got to do all that good stuff. The composting toilet. I got to get all this stuff mounted up on the wall before I put the solar panels up. Have a nice, neat work area. And this stuff will actually take up quite a bit of the wall. But I'm going to keep this close to the fireplace. Keep everything nice and toasty. So it won't hurt it too bad. So that gives you guys a good update. Sorry I haven't been making videos. The winter's been slow. Work's been slow. Money's been tight. So I'm just getting a nice check here coming this month. So I decided time to get the rest of my solar stuff done. And go from there. So that's it for now, guys. Have a good day.